So, Blaya, you're welcome. All right. So, look, this little training is just going to be, we're going to look at a quick overview of what our business strategy is and how we can incorporate AI agents into that. But we'll also just look at how we're injecting AI into our process to begin with. And I'll show you a kind of a manual way, and I'll show you an AI agent that can do a lot of the work for us. So, all right. So all we're doing here, as a reminder, is for our AI agency, all we are doing is following a very simple business process, very simple business strategy. We are going to start a conversation with a business, a local business, using a foot in the door service. Okay, we're going to open up the conversation for that. And then we are going to do that on a results first basis. And then ultimately try to make the sale from that. So basically we're going to provide a result, use that as a conversation starter with the business. Hopefully they buy it. That's the goal, to sell that service to them, sell that thing to them, and then ultimately sell them other things, right? That's it. Now, I can't remember if on this, yeah. And so what are we going to use for that foot in the door? Well, we want to use something that meets a little bit of criteria here, okay? And that's where we have that down at the bottom here, okay? First and foremost, we want the thing that we're going to use as a foot in the door to be something that a business owner would need or want. That's it. We just are that simple. We want them to need or want it, right? That's going to be helpful. If we're trying to sell something, it would be nice if it's something that they need or want. It should also be easy to fulfill. Means it should be easy for us to do it. Why is that? Well, if it's something that I'm going to use over and over and over again to start a conversation with a business owner and ideally try to sell it to them, it needs to be something that I can easily do. It shouldn't be some complex, convoluted thing that takes hours on end for me to put together before I can even talk to somebody. Because if I have to do that every single time before I talk to somebody, I'm not going to do it. Let's be honest. We're not going to consistently do it. Anything that's super tough for us to do, we're going to give up. No matter how bad we want things, most of the time, most of us are just going to give up. Well, that's too hard. So it needs to be something that is easy to do so that I can just wake up and like, all right, this is all I do today. And boom, 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 boom. I can bang them out. Because this is what's going to start the sales conversation. This is what's going to start a conversation. This is what's going to help me make money and grow my business. So it has to be something I'm easily able to do and do it very quick and consistently. Okay. The next thing is, that's important, is it needs to be priced cheap to perceived value. And what does that mean? Simply put, they need to think the thing is worth way more than I'm charging. They need to think that they're getting a great deal, right? And they should be. And I want that for my foot in the door service because what does that make? What does that mean? It means it's going to be easier to sell. That simple. So all of these things combined makes a great foot in the door service because it makes it easier to sell and sell a lot of them. And so what are we going to use? We are going to use as our foot in the door AI built websites. Now, we are not going to call them AI built websites. They're just websites. But I'm telling you that they are AI built websites because we are going to use AI to build them. That's simple. But we are going to use websites because it meets all of that criteria. Every business on the planet needs and or wants a website. it's one of the first things that they feel that they need to get when they create their business. It's like, oh, I need a website for my business. They just know they need it. And what's cool about that is the majority of the people that I sell this to, they will already have a website. So I'm not looking for people who don't have a website. Although if I find one, that's fine. But it doesn't matter, because web businesses always think that they need a website and it should be good. Some businesses, when they first create a website or get a website, that's when they're first starting. They have little money, they have little experience. Maybe they had to build it themselves with some crappy online website builder thing. They don't know what they're doing, or they paid someone and they didn't know any better, and they paid for some crap, or they outgrew it because their business has evolved or changed and no one's taking care of it. And so every single day there is businesses, thousands of them, that already have websites that are actually looking to have a better website. So that's perfect for me. It already meets that first criteria. Easy to fulfill. Well, if I had to code and do technical stuff to build a website for each person that I talk to, that wouldn't be good. That wouldn't work. But because I can use AI, I can actually build these websites in minutes. So perfect. Easy to fulfill, and priced cheap to perceived value. We are going to sell our websites between $500 to $3,000. That's a minimum recommended range. The reason why is that is much cheaper than what most business owners think a website would cost. Most websites in the history of time for a small business has cost on average anywhere between $5,000 to $10,000, just easy. And definitely people have paid well beyond that for simple local business websites, to the point you look at it and you're like, wait, you paid how much for that? Okay. So that's just the value that has been out there and dictated in the market for a website. So when we come in and we're charging anywhere from $500 to $3,000, well, that's a great deal compared to what a website is actually worth. So it meets all that criteria. We're going to charge anywhere from $500 to $3,000. I just a little arrow because nice sweet spot is to sell these $2,000 a pop. But in the end, this range is what I'm going to work in, and treat it like a range. Means the first opportunity I get, I'm brand new, sell it for $500. If you have no experience, no confidence, sell it for $500, because you can all agree that you know that a website should cost way more than $500. The market has already determined that. So it should be very easy and comfortable for you to walk in and sell a website for $500. The irony is, as Tracy says here, how much do you think a landing page should cost? I've seen landing pages people charge $1,000 to set up a simple landing page. So for us to provide a standard local business website and be up to 5 pages or so and sell it for $500 to $3,000, it's a steal. I've seen landing pages sell for $10,000, just stupid stuff. And I think it's stupid because they're so easy to put together. It doesn't mean the value's not there, right? Because if it makes the business way more money than that, then that's a great deal. However, I've just seen people also take advantage of like $10,000 for just a simple landing page. To me, is a little outrageous, but I I'm always thinking long-term and how can I do right by the client and not, be one of these people that's like this, I don't know, it feels scuzzy to charge that much. However, for a landing page, anywhere from $100 to $500, that's very reasonable on time. Depends on what's going on, what's involved in all that. But so regardless, here I have a 5-page website that I can sell easily for $500 to $3,000. Start at $500, and then after you sell 1 or 2 at that price, you should feel a little bit more confident now about it. Go ahead and bump your price up $500 and start selling it for $1,000. And then once you do that a couple of times, go ahead and sell it for $1,500. Just bump it by $500 every time until you get to the price point that you want to stick at. Okay. People in this group have already sold these websites anywhere from $7,000 to $10,000. okay? Because they're beautiful professional websites, all right? Just the fact that we use AI to build them is irrelevant. It doesn't matter what tools we use to build them. What's the result of our output? They're beautiful professional websites, okay? And so this is the process that I'm going to follow over and over and over again, all right? Now, I've talked about it in terms of, where do we find these businesses to kick off this process? Well, there's really two ways, right? There's two ways that I have focused in on and have shared that to me are just the easy, get going, make things happen ways to do this, okay? First and foremost is go to where people are already raising their hand asking for help, right? I call that warm prospecting. There are places that you can go right on the internet where people, businesses go all around the world 24/7, go there and they ask for help across all different kinds of things. And one of the things that they commonly ask for is someone to help them build a website or rebuild their current one, rebuild their current one. Okay. Those are what I like to call computers reach websites like Upwork, Freelancer, Guru. They're all the same, just different brands, right? Although Upwork is where I suggest starting first because it's like the Google of job post sites versus some of the others are like Yahoo and DuckDuckGo. People use them, but the volume is on Google, right? So the volume is mainly on Upwork so far as of right now. Doesn't mean some other site's not going to come and take over that or whatever. But Upwork is probably the biggest one currently. So that's where we want to be for sure. And then it's okay to also be on the other ones. Okay. That's not a problem at all. But definitely if I'm going to pick one and start on one, it's going to be Upwork, more than likely. Okay. Because there's always going to be plenty of projects for me to bid on there. Okay. The second place that I can go. So I go there, they're already raising their hand asking for help. They're literally already saying, hey, I need a website. I have money, someone take my money and build me a website. So I want to be there first. The second place that I will go to find these businesses is when I want to go and expand above and beyond people that are posting, because that's a finite, even though every few minutes there's a new project being posted, still I will be able to go through all the ones that have been posted that day fairly quickly. And then it becomes okay, well, then what? Then what do I have time? So what do I do now? Do I just sit and stare at the screen, wait for the next one to post? Now, again, I can be on multiple. So I can go to Freelancer, do the same thing, Guru, do the same thing, but I can go through all those sites and see everything that was posted for the day related to web design within an hour. Okay. Once I get in a routine, I can move through fairly quickly and do my bidding and be done for the day. That alone, you're already sitting pretty and you're on your way to success, because you just have to stay consistent doing that, because those are people already asking for help. The conversion rates are higher than most other prospecting methods. If I want to expand and grow beyond that, because I have time and I want to move faster, right? Well, then my next opportunity is to start going out into the world and just reaching out to businesses. I don't know if they need help or not, but they are a business and there's the potential need. I can use some indicators. I can use an indicator or two, or some signs, if you will, that can maybe help me reach out to people that are more likely to need my help versus maybe someone else, right? Okay. And we'll talk about what that means in a second. But that place that I suggest typically going is Google business listings, the Google Maps listings, because it's real easy to go to any town, any city, in any country, or sorry, in any state. Well, any country, I think Google Maps is pretty much everywhere, but any state, any city in any niche is what I was trying to spit out, and get a list of businesses that are in that niche in that city that I can easily just say, all right, I'm going to reach out to plumbers in Miami. I can go to Miami. I can Google Miami plumbers and get a whole, and go to right to Google Maps. And there's going to be lists and lists of people. Okay. So we'll look at each of these right now, actually. So let's go. All right. So again, trying to start a conversation, let's start with, let's go to Upwork. I'll share my screen in just 1 second here and get my things set up. Okay, so let me share my screen here. Man, the sun is just beating down, so it's really bright right now. The sun is just, it shines right through a specific window on my face and computer. Makes it hard to see the screen sometimes. All right, all I'm going to do, okay, all I'm going to do is up in my little search bar up here under jobs, I'm just going to search web design. Okay, I can search website design. I can search, there's all kinds of things that I can search for. Okay, it's going to automatically group them typically with best matches. I like to do most recent. If I wanted to just do US only, I could do that. But in the end, all I'm doing is I'm looking for easy projects. And what do I mean by easy? Means I don't have to pull out a whiteboard and a calculator to figure out what the hell they're even talking about. I want something so simple, obvious that I can bring a third grader up here and they could literally tell me, yeah, that's someone who wants a website. That's how easy I want it to be. Okay. In the end, I don't really care about if they say, oh, I want a WordPress was because I can build it quick in AI and send them my proposal with a link in it. They can look at it. If they don't want it, they do. If not, they do. A lot of people just say, so what I'm talking about is the psychology of the people that post here. Okay. Most are just the average business owner who, I want to remind everybody here, gets no marketing or business training ever. Yeah, maybe some of them are lucky enough to have taken some business and marketing classes in school, but even those don't teach you what we do. They don't teach you to understand tactical, strategic level marketing. It's usually this big picture stuff where they do case studies about Coca-Cola in the 1950s, giant corporations that none of these businesses will ever act like, nor does it ever share any actual marketing information and all that stuff. So you got to understand the education of the average business owner is zero business and zero marketing education. Because I decide to start a business, I don't get some USB chip in the mail that I like, oh, hey, congrats, I heard you're going to be a business owner. Just insert this chip and we're going to download a bunch of business and marketing knowledge. They don't gain that knowledge. They don't get a card that says, oh, you're a business owner now. Welcome to the Business Owners Club. Here's an 800 number in case you get stuck. No, it's just someone had an idea to start a business. Boom, magic. There it is. They're a business owner. Doesn't mean they're experienced. Doesn't mean they have the knowledge. Does everyone understand that? Because that's a very important thing, because there's so many people that come in to start like a marketing business or agency, and they just think all these business owners know all this stuff. They don't at all. Okay. And case in point is sites like this. They have to come here because they've heard this is a place that they can come and post and ask for help. They're not given guidance on pricing. They're not given guidance on technical stuff. So they go by what they hear or what they think and all this other random stuff. Okay. So what do I mean by that into actual realistic terms? This person says, I need an experienced developer for a WordPress site. It is quite possible this person just heard. Now, again, I don't know what this is. Maybe they're an agency looking for specific people to build WordPress sites. It doesn't matter. What I'm getting at is just because I see stuff like this person could have just heard, oh yeah, I need a website. I heard WordPress is the best one to get. That's a lot of the knowledge and reasoning behind things that you see posted. Oh, I need someone to help me build a Wix site. Well, why Wix? I just heard Wix is a good place for businesses. It's a lot of that BS. There's a lot of that. I heard from a friend of a friend of a friend, or from a search of a search of a search. Okay. You got to understand the psychology. Next thing I want to focus on is the budget. Do you think this person thinks right here that they're going to get away with $25 for a WordPress site? Do you honestly think that? Maybe you do, and it's okay if you do. But let me tell you, it's not what that means. The unexperienced person who can't think beyond the level that we're going to be thinking They're going to say, oh, $25. I'm worth wait. Jason said $500. Screw that guy. $10. Screw that guy. This is where we are smart marketers because we understand the psychology of the people posting here. They have to put money into, like, Upwork requires them to put money for each project that they bid on. They have to pick a budget. So they're forced to pick a budget, and a percentage of that budget has to be paid. It has to be taken from them to sit here so that Upwork can verify that this person's the real deal, that they have money for the project. Okay. Or else anyone would just be posting random stuff and no one ever get paid. Upwork makes money from people making money off these sites, doing jobs together. So they make sure the person posting has money. If I'm inexperienced and I have no idea how much a website would cost, haven't you ever been asked, well, how much should you pay for something like this? And you're like, I have no freaking clue. Guess what? A lot of business owners have that same type of feeling as well. So their reasoning for a lot of people is, well, I have to put money up. I have no idea what the budget is. I'm expecting the expert to tell me how much it's going to cost. But I have to put some money up, so I'll just put $25 because I'll just pay $25 versus saying $10,000, and then they have to come up with $5,000 to put up on the site. Does that make sense? Are you understanding the psychology? Because this is all important next level stuff that you're not going to get out there Google searching how to do all this stuff. Okay. And so in the end, I understand the psychology of the people posting here. They don't know what the hell things cost. They're also trying to save money when they post projects. So budgets are irrelevant. And I don't really care too much if they say something specific, like, oh, I'm looking for a WordPress website. If they're asking for a website or a website redesign, more times than not, I'm just going to go ahead and bid on it. Okay. Stuff I won't bid on, something like this. Experienced developer needed for WordPress. Oh, cool. Well, WordPress, maybe he doesn't know, but then he throws in Elementor changes. What does that mean? Elementor? I don't even know what. Cool. Skip it. Website for energy certificates. This is what I'm talking about. Very simple, very easy. Okay. I can bring a third grader and they would understand, oh, this person's looking for a website for energy certificates. They might not know what energy certificates is. I don't know what energy certificates is, but I know with 100% certainty, this person wants a website. You guys following me? What we're looking for? It's that easy. Don't overthink this stuff. Okay. All right. So I have the opportunities here. Okay. Now, let's just do another example really quick. Let's just do Miami plumbers. Okay, Miami plumbers. Okay, Miami plumbers. The next thing, right? So when I want to go above and beyond these posts on Upwork, I can then just do a search in any niche, okay, and any location, and I'm going to find the Google Maps listing, okay? Now, I can just reach out to any of these people because do you know if this person wants a website redesign? They have a lot of reviews. You're like, oh, this person's probably happy. But do you know without 100% certainty if this person's happy with their website? Maybe they are. Or maybe they're like like other businesses that are successful. They say, you know what? We could probably have a better website. I'm ready to spend a little bit more money because we're doing really good. I'd like to upgrade my website. I think it'll look nicer. I want a more professional website. You don't know. Okay. Now, so what I'm getting at is you could, if you wanted to, just reach out to all these businesses. Okay. I can go down the line. Their number, there's websites, there's sometimes emails listed here. If not, I can find their email, maybe do some Google searches, or maybe links to their Facebook page, and on their Facebook page is a email, whatever. Bottom line is I can reach out, just go down the line, start reaching out to these businesses. But if I want to narrow things down a little bit, okay, and maybe increase the chances that I can start a conversation with someone and the chances be a little bit higher than normal that they would potentially need a website, I can do that by simply looking for the ones that are here. And for whatever reason, I don't have, why is this? I'm not sure if, you guys are experiencing this too. Usually there's a second page, like there's a whole, like you guys have seen this on other ones I've done where there's like page 2, page 3, because this is not all the plumbers in Miami. So why is it not giving me page 2 or the next page where I can go to the next page? Like for whatever reason, I don't know why this is happening. Okay. Maybe because it's telling, maybe let's try this. No. Okay. Normally I would be able to go to the second page of this and not just the first. I don't know what this is. And look for the ones that don't have website. Okay. So let me just try to go into let me go Omaha plumbers. Let me see if I can go in a different city and just find. Okay. Okay. It's not doing it for me. You know what? Let's do Las Vegas and see if I can do it in my, and then I'll have to figure out what's going on and why Google is not allowing me to do this. It won't matter in a second when we use an AI agent, but in the end, it's kind of annoying to me. Like, yeah, I guess. So this is all the plumbers in Las Vegas. I don't know what Google's up to, but for whatever reason, it's not expanding this information. So I'll have to talk to some of the GMB experts in the group and see what the hell's going on and why this is happening. Anyway, usually there's pages upon pages of people that you can sit there and look at. Let me see if I can. No. Let me see if I search this area. Okay, here we go. All right. Again, no idea why that was like that. Okay, yeah. So they're doing some kind of weird limiting thing now all of a sudden. I don't know what this is. I'll have to figure out what's going on. Anyway, it won't matter because I'm going to show you how an AI agent can overcome all this. All right. So anyway, this would be the next spot that I would go and see or look for and reach out to other opportunities. That are out there for websites. Okay. Now let's look at each of these and look at the manual way. Okay. So all I would simply do is I would open up a project. We're just going to use this website for energy certificates. Okay. The manual way, where I'm just good old fashioned way, is I'm just going to simply go to my website builder. In this case, I'm going to use Lovable. Okay. I'm simply going to type, I need a website built for the following project. Project. Space down. I'm just going to go over here real quick and copy the boom. I need a website. All I do is paste in the project. Okay. I'm going to quickly look and see if there's anything that's not related to building the website. Sometimes it'll say you should have 3 years of website experience and stuff like that. All this other stuff. I would just delete that out of there because the website builder doesn't care about any of that. Okay. All I want to paste in here is the actual stuff related to building the website. Okay. And then I'm just going to hit the button. Okay. So it's going to go ahead and start doing its thing. What is happening here is AI is just going to, it already knows exactly what to do. Okay. We use lovable.dev for this. Okay. Go High Level even has this built in now as well. Okay. We'll start demoing that a little bit more as well. And then in the end, it may pop up a question here and there. Say, hey, what kind of, are you looking for some kind of, do you care if it's this or that? It might ask like a this or that type question. I've had that happen from time to time. You can, and most of the time it gives you like, you can skip it because if you're like, I have no idea, just skip it and it'll pick one of the options itself. It just sometimes will like to give you, offer the option of you providing some sort of input, not all the time, just sometimes. And then ultimately, it's going to end up spitting out a website for us. Okay. And while this is doing this, actually, the way I would reach out actually, let's focus back on the strategy. The strategy is simple. We're going to build this website. We'll get a link to it. And then when I submit my proposal to them, I'm going to include a link to the website. Okay. That's my results first strategy. Very, very, very simple. That's all we're doing. To get my Upwork proposal, I can just pop over here. Okay. Okay, I've already started a chat before with this, the same thing. And it's just like this, okay? I need a proposal built for the following Upwork project. I want a spot to add a website link to a demo that I already built for them, highlighting that I'm a results first based, versus telling them what I could do. And then you just put the project title and then paste in, again, the rest of the project, and then it's going to spit it out for you. So again, even if I did the same, it's just like this. And this is what it's going to produce. Now, what I can do is I can edit this if I want. So if I didn't like it the way it says something, I just want to make a quick change, I can absolutely do that, because I'm just going to copy and paste that into Upwork is all I would do. I can also have it rewritten. I can literally just say, hey, I don't like this part, or can you shorten it, or can you do that or that, this or that, okay? So that's all that's happening there, okay? It's really that simple. Okay, let's go back to this. Okay, you can see here it's still doing its thing. And in the end, I'm going to end up getting a nice website right here. Beautiful. Okay. And I don't even know what energy certificates are. Okay, but I can know that this is probably a pretty good job. Okay, so now I have a website that's built based on their project specifications. All I need to do is publish this thing. Okay, I can publish it using whatever name I want here. I can edit it, and it's going to change the front part. It'll be on .lovable.app. So I can make this, it went ahead and just picked the name. If I have to look at the project again, maybe they said their name is Greenmark EPC. I would just make it their name, Greenmark MPC or EPC, and then just save it. Okay, let's just make it Greenmark or whatever. Yeah, EPC. If I want, I can put dash EPC, whatever I want. I'm just gonna do that. Boom. If I don't like the Lovable app, I can just get a custom domain and put it on a domain if I want to. Again, I would probably get something generic and just reuse it over and over again, because it'll be say I got demosite.com. Well, instead of lovable.app, it would be demosite.com. And just like this, I would be able to put, in this case, greenmarkepc.demosite.com. Then the next project is for Jack's Plumbing. I would put it on demosite.com, but the front of it would be, instead of Greenmark EPC, it would be Jack's Plumbing. So I can keep using the same domain over and over and over again if I don't want to use this Lovable one, okay? But that's all. So I'd publish it, grab that link, and then head over to Upwork, paste in this project bid proposal, paste in the demo link right there, telling me where to put it, make sure I change my name, do all that, and then submit and go on. Okay. All that would take minutes. Okay. I'm bouncing around showing you some stuff, but all that would take minutes. Okay. I can also, for the same process that I use there, I can do the same thing here, except for I would be able to actually build it around a certain brand. Right? What I could do is I could just create a plumbing site, a one plumber site, Las Vegas Plumbers, and just reuse that over and over and over again. And I would just simply say, I need a website built for, instead of the Upwork project, I need a website built for a Las Vegas plumber. Okay. And it would put together a plumbing site, and then I could just send that out. But instead of an Upwork proposal, what would I do? I would generate a cold email or a cold call script, right, to reach out to them with the same concept. I want to have a link to the website and send it. Okay. Now, all that to say that is the process over and over and over again. Okay. We have AI agents in the Agent Vault, right, that can help with this process. Pretty much doing the same kind of things, but we can be a little bit more hands-off. Okay. So first and foremost, if I found the Upwork prospect, same process. Okay. In this case, I have Paul the prospector that can help me come up with an Upwork proposal. We'll look at that in a second. But the first thing I would want to do is build the website. So I still need to build the website. I can do that one of two ways. I can just go to Lovable, paste the project just like that. Or I can come here to Marry Mockups, go to the mockup generator, okay, and pick a niche if the niche is here, okay. My suggestion on this is if it's one of these niches, just pick the niche. I can use other and like say it's for energy certificates, right? Or whatever. The problem is it probably won't, because it's not one of the niches, it doesn't know what kind of template and stuff to use. It does know how to build a website, but I would prefer to be able to paste in the project details, okay? Whenever I use Marry the mockup generator here, she's going to produce a prompt for me that I will then copy and put into Lovable. So I went into Lovable and just type, hey, create me one for this Upwork project. That can be a little bit faster if it's not already one of these niches, okay? But I could, if I wanted to, say it's for energy certificates. I'm not going to, it takes a while to generate it, so we wouldn't see it output anyway, but it's going to produce a prompt. Okay, I'll show you one of those in just a second. So if it's one of these niches, I would just grab it and then it's going to give me the prompt for that. And then I would still add the Upwork details from the project because I want whatever they've asked for, I kind of want to incorporate that. Okay. In the end, let's go to the library. It's going to produce a prompt. See this? Build, do this. Okay. So I would be able to copy it and paste it into Lovable. Let's go back. Oops. No, I did something. I don't know how to get off this. Oh, dashboard. Where's dashboard? Go to the dashboard. Okay. I would be able to paste it in. There it is. End of build prompt. Okay. What I could do then is I would, again, paste in the details of the Upwork project up top. Okay. So for Upwork projects, I might just come here, do the quick posting, and just use Paul the prospector for the Upwork template. So I may skip the mockup generator, just use Lovable Direct, and just come to Paul here, prospecting method, computers reach, generate proposal. And all I would do is paste in the project title. And then the summary. Okay, what am I offering? This is the web design. And I can just leave this blank, but if I had anything I wanted to highlight, I could do that here. Okay, and then generate the proposal. And then what Paul the prospector is going to do is it's going to go ahead and put a highly effective, versus me just putting in ChatGPT, it's going to go ahead and generate a highly effective prospecting Upwork proposal. And then I can still, again, I still want to add the link in here, right? And if I'm like, well, Jason, how do I add the link? And it didn't give me a place to put the link. If I don't want to try to figure it out myself, I would just take this, right? Oops. Save proposals. Of course, I didn't save it. Of course, it's going to do that to me. I would take the proposal that it generated, and I would just come over here, paste it in, okay, and then say insert a place in my proposal for the link. Okay, so anyway, I have options for that when it comes to the Upwork proposal. All right. Now, where I'm really going to get the bang for the buck is using this setup for the scaling outreach. So above and beyond Upwork. Okay, so yeah, I can generate an Upwork proposal in here. Okay, I can easily do that just on my own quickly. But as you've seen, as I was trying to search in Google and go to the multiple pages, that there has been in the history, you could watch tons of history of the videos I've already put up on my channel, in this group, whatever, and see that there's been pages upon pages for you to search typically. For whatever reason, Google is playing hardball with me and not showing me the multiple pages. Well, cool. I can use Paul the Prospector to find me plumbers in Miami and Miami, Florida. Okay. And now I'm going to search. And now what Paul the Prospector is going to do, Paul the Prospector is going to go ahead and pull up. See, in this case, it found me 102 businesses that have opportunities. Okay. So what does it mean? It's going to actually pull businesses that either, like in this case, there's no website. They have low reviews, because I can use this also to sell other services like review management, or very few reviews, or even just some optimization on their Google profile. Like this one has no Google business no pictures on their Google business profile. And so it's going to pull different businesses that it finds in Google in that area for that location, in that niche, and also highlight opportunities that it has. Okay. So now, instead of me digging through pages of it, I can just now have and save right here, save 102 to the master list. I'm going to call these plumbers in Miami. Save. And now here on my master list, okay, right here it is, plumbers in Miami. And so now what I can do is I come to, well, actually real quick, what do I need to do? I need to get a website for them first. This is where Mary, the mockup generator, is going to help me. Okay. Choose my niche. I'm doing plumbers. And it just says, hey, Mary's going to hook you up with all this stuff. It's going to build a site with all these features. Continue. What do I want? Let me do clean and light. Actually, just do bold and colorful. And then what this is going to do is Mary's going to go ahead and create me a nice website prompt that I can then paste in the Lovable. And it's going to give me a nice generic plumber website that I'll then be able to use that same one website for all my outreach. So I don't have to create one every single time. I can just have one that's really nice, thoroughly put together, and use that in my prospecting outreach. Okay. So Mary is creating this. I can't remember if I go away, if Mary's going to remember this. I don't remember if I have to stay on this page or not. But in the end, once I get the mock-up created, let me see. I think she's just going to go ahead and keep creating it. If not, I have some examples here. So let's go over to Paul the Prospector while that's doing its thing. Prospecting methods. Okay. So now I have all my prospecting methods. We just looked at Upwork. What I'm going to focus on for this cold outreach is typically I'm going to use cold email, cold calling, or the double tap method, which some of you might remember I've talked about years ago. It's just simply sending an email, a cold email, and a cold social media message, whether it's on Instagram or Facebook, you can put it on LinkedIn, whatever you want. It's hitting them, double tap, hitting them from two places, increasing the odds that they see one of the messages and respond to it. Okay. So all I need to do is go to my master list, in this case, plumbers in Miami, and I'm going to select them all. Okay. And then add them to whatever prospecting method I want to use. Okay. I can add them to email, add them to call list. Let's just add them to all. Okay. I'm going to add them to the call list. Yep. Add to list. I'm going to highlight again, add to email list. Okay. And then highlight and add to the double tap list. Okay. So now what I can do is go back to the prospecting methods. And if I want a cold email, okay, I would enrich the emails. It's basically going to go through. It has, oops, this is the wrong one. Cold email. Oh, because I forgot to add. You can only have one at a time, but it will add it just like this. This is the Dallas one. But anyway, I have the list of prospects here. Okay. You would enrich the emails. It's going to scrape and try to verify all the emails before it then puts together the messages. So we won't look at that, but I'll show you what an email would look like. Okay. Anyway, so it's going to go and it's going to try to pull all the data, and it's going to go through, take its time and try to find and match up all the email data to make sure that you have valid emails, as many as possible. Okay. But so let's jump with the cold calling. Okay. Here it is. If I just click start calling. Okay. What am I pitching? My website. And then here it is. It gives me my script so I can simply call or give this to a VA and let them rock and roll. It's going to do that for every single one of these. It's going to personalize with their stars, their reviews. And it's going to have just a simple script for you to follow and allow you to kind of mark them on, whatever the outcome of that call is. Okay. And then I can just hit the arrow down here and go to the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one. And it's going to keep personalizing it based on their reviews and everything, so that you have the clear information of the person that you're talking to. So it's always personalized to the person you're talking to. Okay. Now, double tap. It's going to include an email and a social media message. So start tapping. Here it is. Start tapping. Here it's going to give me a Facebook, Instagram message that I can I can copy this, paste it into Facebook and message that business, and or on social media, Instagram or wherever, LinkedIn. I can send this whatever way. And then here's the email. Subject, it gives me the subject line. And then again, information or quick, simple email, copy, paste it, and send. Okay. If I use the cold email process that's built in here, we looked at it and talked about enriching the emails. I can actually have those automatically sent through Go High Level. These here, I'm going to have to manually copy and paste in and send, whereas the other ones will automatically put those emails into Go High Level, to your Go High Level account that you would connect, and send those emails out to all of the prospects without you having to do something like this. Because this is a double tap, it's a manual process. It's not connected like that because it's just not. And so anyway, I can also change it up based on if I wanted to target based on reviews or whatever. But again, website is our perfect foot in the door. Okay. And then again, I have it for this business. I hit next down here. Boom. Now it's on for the next one. Boom. Now it's on for the next one. Okay. And again, I can mark, yep, I sent the DM. Yes, I sent the email, or both sent. And then if they reply or book, I can come back here and mark that as well. Okay. So very, very simple. Let's go to Mary the mockup and see if she generated yeah, it did right here. Okay. So all I need to do, it built a nice big prompt. So let me go ahead and just copy it. We'll come over to Lovable. And this is my prompt. You can see how detailed this is, way more detailed than what we did earlier, right? Manually. And now I can just go boom. All right. So now what it's going to do is it's going to go ahead and produce this generic plumbing site. That's going to be, again, with a very detailed prompt that's going to give it all the bells and whistles. I would then insert this link into my prospecting messages that I go out, whether it's the cold email. For the cold call, you're kind of saying, hey, let me send this link over to you. Okay, so you're doing that on the actual call. I think it's already built in the script. And then the double tap. Again, I would want to potentially already insert that link in. But it's going to go ahead and just build me this one mock-up. And I would just use this one over and over again versus needing one for every single one of these businesses. Okay, and that's all that's happening here, right? So again, recap the process. I got a foot in the door process where I'm going to offer a AI built website, right? We're going to go ahead and build it and reach out to businesses in one of two ways, right? Either the businesses that are already raising their hand asking for help, that's our Upwork people. Okay, so we're going to send them proposals that we create, put the link in there, show them their website in the hopes of, again, getting the conversation going to sell that website. Then I also have the second outreach method, which is my cold prospecting. That's where I go out and find people. They didn't come to me. I'm going to go find them, right? And so, again, I showed you the manual way, which is a pain in the butt, or I can simply use an AI agent, and it's going to pull up a list of all the businesses in that niche, in that location. And then I'm generating a prospecting script in whatever prospecting method I want to use, whether it's cold call cold email or a double tap, or it's a cold email and a social media message, or combine them however I want to. And I'm using Mary the mockup, who creates Mary the AI agent, who's creating this awesome prompt for me to generate a simple demo mockup for that niche that I'll just reuse for all my outreach. I'll send the same link to everybody. Again, using that prospecting method and the prospecting scripts that have already been created for me. And that's all I'm doing. I'm reaching out. I'm going to sell the website to whoever it is, whether it's on Upwork or someone I found in Google Maps, for $500 to $3,000. That range is typically where I'm going to play. I'm going to start, if I'm brand new, I start at 500, ease my way up by 500. Okay. As I see fit, after I sell one or two, bump my price by 500 and keep doing that until I'm in my sweet spot where I feel comfortable and I'm getting good conversion rates, closing deals. And then ultimately it opens the door for me to sell them my other services, which are typically reoccurring marketing services like review management, which we already seen some of the tools in the AI agents identify those review opportunities. Makes it super easy to pivot from delivering a beautiful website to then steer the conversation into their reviews, because you already have that information, right? You already know that that business could either use more reviews potentially, or help fix they definitely need more positive reviews to help their scores. Okay. So it can flow easily in that conversation. Another easy service that we have is our message marketing service, which is email and text marketing campaigns. That's our bread and butter kind of core marketing service that all the others kind of support and build on. It's a real easy conversation once we've delivered that website. Okay. Because they're all ears, and it's as simple as saying something along the lines of, all right, cool. Now you have the website. So out of curiosity, what are you doing right now about your reviews? I noticed you have, you only have like 3 reviews right now, or I noticed in the ratings a little lower, probably because you're not getting enough of your customers who had a great experience to speak up. We have something for that. If you're interested in that conversation, are you available to chat about that? Real easy pivot there. Or if I don't want to focus on the reviews and I just want to open the discussion in general to marketing and find out what they really need and plug and play with all my different services, I can just simply say, well, what are you doing now that the website's delivered? What are you all doing right now to bring in new customers? What are you guys doing to get new eyeballs on that website? And then let them say whatever they're going to say. They're going to tell you one thing or another. And then my follow-up, no matter what, is really, okay, got it. Well, I tell you, that's something we do as well. If you're interested, let's have a conversation. I'd love to hear more about what you're up to or what you got going on. And then I can maybe share a little about what else we can do, and we can go from there. Okay. It's a real easy pivot. It's not some awkward thing that I have to try to figure out. It's a very, very, very simple pivot to opening up the conversation for that extra income. Okay. Does that all make sense? That's it. Now, this mockup generator is still working on this because we have quite the prompt. As you can see, it was a little bit faster on. Look at this. I mean, it's a very, very, very detailed prompt. So this is probably going to keep going on for a little bit here. Look at this, just tons. It's assembling all that, but in the end, it's going to produce a website just like it did for the other. Oh, here it is. Speak of the devil and it appears. Let's go ahead and close the sidebar. Let it open. We'll see what this demo looks like. And then again, it has given, look at this beautiful site. And again, I can make adjustments to this, but look at this. Really cool. Yeah, really, really cool website. Still loading up some stuff, has a review section. Look at this. I mean, look at this beautiful website. So I will be able to then take this and use this in my outreach to all my plumbers. Okay. And again, AI makes, years ago, all this wouldn't be possible as it is now, as a nice foot in the door, easy, convenient service. But as you can see, whether we do it manually or we use our AI agents, AI has given us the opportunity to move fast, move efficiently, and really set us up for success and getting this business going, and getting it growing to accomplish whatever goals that we have there. All right. That's it.